quite probably the youngest team and the oldest team versus each other. So let's get into the draft between our big age diff matchup.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they want to focus. Anivia obviously really rising in prio as it's become a much more popular support these days. Still solid in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, and even top lane, it's a giga flex. I love how Anivia has just bloomed into super high prio because of the flexibility, and there's actually so many good top lane matchups for her right now too. So
yeah, Ryze still up and available. Pantheon still up and available. Those are some relatively high prio champs. Of course, Ashe Seraphine has become super popular as people are just kind of down to blind that. And these days it feels like we're seeing a lot of just kind of Ashe Seraphine getting slammed out and Corki Nami responses.
That's why, one of the reasons why the Anivia ban's good, because some Caitlyn answers into Ashe Seraphine have just been pummeling it. So you can pair Caitlyn with other stuff too. And we even seen like Caitlyn Bard do really well versus it. When the Caitlyn is up too, I feel like Caitlyn prio has gotten real sneaky there. In especially like if you're drafting your comp around pushing bottom lane and rotating that siege around. But we're gonna start out with some very normal comps here, okay? Yep. Pantheon first pick for Gryffinn. This is pretty big if you follow Griffin's social media and maybe even Force Within. But the meta Pantheon discussion looks like he's gonna lock this one in again. Again, he had a really successful Pantheon game already this split, and HamBak's Skarner is, I would say, equally as kind of like highlighted by their owner of the entire organization.
And it's actually the only champ that they have gotten wins on so far. They're 2-4. Both those wins come with him playing Skarner. Obviously, notably, the big catch on Sven against C9 last week was able to kind of turn things around. So
that was a notable one.
It was a notable one. And the other Skarner game he played, he was just monster. Start to finish, he was smurfing. That was right after the interview we had with Sentinels owner.
Yeah, Rob Moore was like, oh, I love watching the scrims. My favorite scrim is when they have HamBak on Skarner. So we're going to see that on stage here instead this time around. And Skarner, you kind of highlighted the amount of CC that it brings just pairs so well with the Rumble. You always want stuff to keep people on a Rumble ultimate. And Sentinel's kind of rounding it out here with the Ryze as a very flexible champion with a lot of options. As far as the mid lane counters go too, the Anivia is kind of one of the biggest one. Yeah. But the Cassiopeia is an answer that has previously been used, and she got buffed. And what you can still do would be like a Talia, if you want to do Talia Pantheon. That kind of sounds nice to me for FlyQuest. Even though Talia's fallen off a little bit, it can still answer into Ryze pretty well.
I'd be okay with it, like, you know, if they want to gank it a lot, you can go Andy, you can go aggressive options and stuff, you know. Obviously, you can just always go like slam an Azir or some sort of control mage and just kind of play to farm, but Ryze obviously pretty strong, and of course, Seraphine going to get taken away. That is kind of what they are giving up by allowing their bot lane to drop to the second phase. You're not going to get that Seraphine Ashe for free. And Massu and Cryogen have been super strong in the 2v2. So Rahel and huhi are going to be knocked down a few pegs on the tier list with a lot of the heavy hitters already being banned or taken away. You know, Varus is gone, Seraphine is gone, the Karma is gone, and you now have the Nautilus gone as well. So they're going to have to try to find some sort of a solve to be able to play against this. You could go, you know, Yunara Lulu and that sort of style, which I think is strong, but I think we've been seeing people really feel like they've figured out how to lane against Yunara.
And personally, I want to see like a Rahel for huhi, because he has been playing all these, you know, Enchanter supports. He's been in there with the meta change and everything, but I love it when he is on primary engage for Sentinels, and being the primary shot caller, it always looks really good. So I will take a Bard, you know, that you can have engage and disengage with that. He can also play defensive. He can also peel.
Yeah, and I think it works with kind of what they've built up so far, right? When you have Ryze, you can play heavily towards side lanes. Skarner can go through walls, Bard can go through walls, you have Realm Warp, you have a lot of ability to move around the map to try to attack people in side lanes. It is going to be the kind of more conservative option here, just throwing out one of the control mages here for quad. He's one of our guys who does really enjoy playing the Hwei. And Ornn would give them that go button, so I think it makes quite a bit of sense.
Hwei also got some marginal, you know, buffs on the patch as well, so a nice little boost there. And it's a lot of range is the last two picks here for FlyQuest. You know, the Hwei, super long range, and Ornn as well, the Ornn ultimate. Huge combination abilities here for both those champions. So I actually really like the rounding out of the FlyQuest comp here. They start out with very strong independent jungler, super strong bottom lane for Massu and Cryogen, which you talked about doing really well in lane so far, and they rounded out with some real team fighting picks for both their solo laners.
Yeah, and I think Hwei is actually really annoying to play into for a number of these champions. For Skarner, when you're trying to go Ishal's impact through a wall, the fear is so easy to actually just hit and be able to knock him back. You can also just throw down your root at the end of a magical journey for Bard, and you can go straight into that. So Hwei has some good answers into a lot of these champions and can play with range quite effectively, where some of these kind of more mid-rangey champions like the Ryze, if you walk too forward, you get stunned by the Pantheon, bubbled by, you know, the Nami, all the CC is going to come in.
Meanwhile, that Caitlyn priority I was talking about at the beginning here sneaks into game number 1 with the Bard combination we're going over. This strategy for super hard push on bottom side, try and punish as much as you possibly can to open up some lanes for like a Ryze split push later on. And then you can get some Realm Warp plays going for yourselves, play the map a little bit on the side of Sentinels. We'll see how good that is, because Sentinels, they have been able to have some very controlled mid games to find some success for the team.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to get things going the right way. Sentinels still looking for their first series win of the split here. FlyQuest, of course, having a very dominant win against DSG last week, and Gryffinn looking to pick up where he left off there. He is posturing for a potential fight at the Raptors here at level 1.
Yeah, gets a rock in the face. Get away from my Raptors.
Never mind.
Ward down, though. Ward is there, but Ward also seen, so they can work around that vision. And interesting thing is, when it's warded like that, especially, people are always really hyper-focused nowadays on starting Raptors, you know, so you get your Raptors to respawn quicker. But especially if enemy knows the respawn time of your Raptors, Pantheon will invade all day. Gryffinn is almost a signature for him now. Just come invade your Raptors. He did this last weekend, just going up, trying to beat down enemy junglers at Raptors. Big hype, though, for this matchup is the age difference. Very big age differences, the biggest in the LCS, and you can see
supporting top especially.
Yeah, namely on display, especially in the top lane. An interesting way to look at it is the age difference, since we always do like at 15 or 14 stats, you know, in League, is 2015. This is the year that like Impact and huhi first came to America. How old were these players when Impact and huhi came over? You know, they were 20, but now you got a bunch of babies, especially on FlyQuest side.
So Sentinels might not be favored today.
Yeah.
But in 2015,
if we played
they would be favored.
Yeah, if we played this match in 2015, we'd have a 7-year-old Gakgos up there in the top lane. He's probably got like some Cheez-Its on the side. He got some snacks and everything.
Yeah. A little goldfish, you know. You got all your snacks.
Sippy cup, maybe.
Hey, I mean, a lot of the LCS players needed a sippy cup at 20, so there's no shame.
How old was Sven Scary? Because, yeah, he spilled
in his 20s,
yeah.
Spill scaring.
He spilled every single day.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was out-of-game mechanics, you know, leaving something to be desired. The in-game mechanics, they were on point, though.
But interesting with the big age difference, we've also had a fairly substantial difference in the way these teams have found success in games. And it shows up a lot in the early game stats in general for these two teams. FlyQuest, you would kind of expect the young team with lots of mechanics, and I don't know, I feel like people always just imagine like you're hot-headed if you're young and you're just like super aggro, you know, trying to take a bunch of fights to have an early game advantage. And if you thought that, you would be right. They have had some very positive early game gold stats for themselves, and Sentinels the kind of opposite, and it feeds into another one of these just like assumptions that people have, especially that are surrounded like, oh yeah, well the older players, they've got to be, you know, bigger brains or something to cause them to be able to come back from gold deficits, right? You have to be wise to come back in later stages of the game, right?
Exactly. Stay calm under pressure. It's also kind of crazy because these are at 14 stats, but I was looking at the at 15 stats, which you can obviously see on Games of Legends, and Impact is averaging down over 700 gold at 15, and his entire team's deficit is significantly less than that.
Yeah, they chopped it. It was like 400 something, so the rest of the team's making up for part of.
And so far, hey, he's got an advantage on that top side. He's playing, you know, first strike rumble.
Yeah,
he's cheating a little bit, but we take what we can get, Kobe.
True. you don't really take your matchups into account when you look at stats, right? You know, just it's a numbers game.
Exactly.
But yeah, Rumble, of course, earning the extra gold there. Always nice to take first strike versus the tanks. Try and farm off them even more since Gakgos is just looking to sustain and scale up for his team. And we're having a lot of that so far. You know, everything really going according to plan so far. Just calm farm game from both sides. Caitlyn side on the bottom here pushing in, trying to make the most of the siege. And you buy some time for a little Bard roam and go and get... Oh, we have a little fight here on the second chickens.
Yeah, this is actually really nice because Huhi has made the move. Cryogen is coming up, but you cannot be walking in like that, Gryffinn. He's going to give over a freebie. Flashes back, does get a stun onto HamBak, but he saw they were there and then just decided to go back in. And that was really ill-advised.
Support has pushing bottom lane, so support roam. Mid lane also pushing, so mid lane walk over. And what we talked about earlier with the Raptor respawn timer desync, since it is the third camp for HamBak, since he did his red quadrant, but it's the fourth camp for Gryffinn on the other side. He's able to get there for the steal.
Yeah, and now Gryffinn is going to be put way behind. So I want to see, how much did he actually see? I mean, you knew that Ryze was walking from mid lane because you saw him leave from mid lane. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way you can defend that because he saw the Ryze walking in and they knew that Bard is missing. Even if Bard is not there, you still should not be walking in knowing that the Ryze is going to be there and the Skarner is there.
Yeah, it is one of the super dangerous parts about the Caitlyn Bard lane. It does buy the Bard a lot of roam timers, and we were kind of just talking about, as we saw in the bottom lane, then push in, getting the extra roam timer. So him coming plus, very easy setup for Ryze there. No flash or even ghost necessary for DARKWINGS to get into range. Very nice start for the first blood for Sentinels, and we might have to readjust our early game stats, Azael. This game is definitely going to affect them, as very, very successful early game for Sentinels.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, HamBak is now up almost an entire level. Massu going to go in onto Rahel and chunk him down a bit, but HamBak way ahead of Gryffinn now at this point. And Gryffinn was looking for that mid lane gank, but had been warded out by a ward over on the Raptors, so he gets nothing. He goes and sees, okay, well, can I steal away your Raptors? But those were down, so Gryffinn, that entire time that Dragon was being taken, didn't do a single camp and didn't get a gank off or anything. So he is now down 20 CS, didn't get the kill, didn't get the Dragon, and having a very ineffective early game on the Pantheon.
Okay, let's see if he can turn it around or if it is going to be another Rob Moore favorite of HamBak Skarner highlights. Because, man, HamBak really is so good on this champ. I do think it is still, especially for solo queue, a bit underrated. Very good tank in the meta at the moment. And it's set up with a really nice chance to succeed in this comp as well. Especially with the Rumble here for Impact doing well, farming up. You need to have some real threat behind the equalizer. So, you know, he's making good on the first strike money, as well as fairly healthy CS difference for himself in the top lane. So, I mean, it does look like a very nice pathway through this game for Sentinels. They've got the Mountain Dragon for the extra defense. What about this brush camp, though? Don't think HamBak is too scared at all about face checking. Looks like we are going to have the Realm Warp available for DARKWINGS. Does he want to use it? They're
going to try to go on to Impact, I think, here. Potentially, no. Instead, they're looking for HamBak, but the Realm Warp is going to join them up. And now, Gakgos has no mana, no health. They got to get out of here, but the Impale is going to be able to land right in onto Gryffinn. Equalizer comes down across multiple members, but it is HamBak that falls first. Cryogen has arrived earlier than the Bard, and they're going to try to chase for more. Huhi's still moving up for now. Gryffinn low on health. The heal going to come out. They're going to look for DARKWINGS. He flashes, but he's stunned. Dies for free after the flash is donated as well. Huhi just arriving to the grubs now, and FlyQuest get a couple big kills back.
The kids get some revenge right there. Jungle fight, they get the chase down here, pulling back Skarner and being able to finish him off. Really nice combination from Quad to have the full damage. And
Huhi stole the scuttle.
What in...
He stole it with an auto attack, and now Griffin's got to leave.
Dude, Gryffinn is still down 20 jungle CS.
He has a smite, too. I guess he just didn't think he needed it, or maybe didn't see the auto attack coming out of the brush. Maybe it came up right after the scuttle.
The real victory goes to Sentinels, though.
Yeah. Grandpa might have taken a little bit of time to get up there, but he was on point with his auto attack once he got there.
So I'm looking back at it now. He was fully out of vision. So Gryffinn would have had to react to seeing the visual of the Q from the brush. So you can give him, you know, you can
give him a pass.
Give him some consideration on that one. But could also say, you know, you're so young, right?
Yeah,
you should be able to react to any visual that pops up. But here's another look at it. So this is a realm warp here. I thought it was going to actually be good, consolidating the fight. Never mind.
Massu does eat a trap, gonna get bound into the wall, and in comes HamBak. eStall's impact straight into the wall. Massu flashes back. Here comes the ulti. Massu still surviving for now, but Cryogen has to flash out as his AD carry falls. Nice little setup there from Sentinels. I'm not sure how Massu initially got trapped, but the CC just kind of didn't end after that.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, now you're going to lose a lot of minions here on the bottom side as well. Good gank from HamBak here, syncing up with huhi's Bard. And they're going to just push this Caitlyn into full siege mode, you know, accelerate with all this extra money off the tower plates on bottom side. A lot of extra alone time there. Still looks very good for Sentinels overall. You know, HamBak got to his heart steal immediately there. Recalls, gets it. Here's the initiation was just a beautiful ult from huhi. Ult into Bard tunnel, and then the Corki was actually close to the wall, so he was like, oh, great. Well, I'll just get a cosmic binding on the Corki here.
Yeah, that was really
nice little setup. Huhi's making moves across the map, okay? Bard, #1 stat is annoying factor, and it's through the roof. He stole the crab on the top side, then got back bottom for a very successful gank, and turns out we're splitting grubs at the moment, and since looks like HamBak is going to have alone time with the last one, Sentinels will retain their control over the neutral objectives as well. Mountain Dragon in tow, 2 grubs for themselves.
Using that MasterCard power spike of the Heartsteel very effectively, as obviously Gryffinn didn't have his item completed just yet. He then based after taking that first grub and was able to grab that. And the Tempered Fate into Trap, obviously pretty strong combo. When we snapped down to there in live, we just saw him in the trap, but hit that Bard ultimate, sets up the trap, and he was pretty much perma-CC'd after that, because it's Bard ult, into trap, into binding, into eStall's impact, into, well, you can flash, but you're not going to get out of there anyway. FlyQuest, though, are first in the area for this dragon, and we'll see if Sentinels want to try to contest it. Gold lead slightly in their favor, as well as that 1 dragon advantage.
Scuttle Crab at least achieved for FlyQuest to give him some vision, but might be a bit dangerous to actually fight it. So, I mean, honestly, it's only a dragon #2. You've got Ornn scaling you want to rely on, maybe. So they're going to give this one up for sure. Just have DARKWINGS push mid lane, try and get an extra little, you know, head start on that minion wave. Maybe he can chunk out one. Oh, they're going to rotate over. Griffin's got a blast cone. He's going to ult through.
Oh, here he comes, but he's going in a little bit too late. They want to try to look for a fight, but they're not going to be able to find it. So the Grand Starfall gets a bit of nothing. Gakgos had walked down pretty much all the way because neither top laner had TP and Impact equalized the wave. So they were thinking, hey, maybe if Gakgos can get down here in time, we could find a fight. At the end of the day, though, the Grand Starfall amounts to nothing, and that is a long cooldown to be using.
Yeah, I was wondering what angle. Well, here we go, another Bard ult.
Tempered Fate there, binding. Trap going to be able to follow it up as well as he is getting CC'd. The bubble gets flashed over by Rahel. In comes HamBak with the eStall's impact. He's going to flash in for the Impale on the Massu, who has no flash available. It's a double for Rahel as huhi sets him up, and Rahel knocks him down.
So huhi is one of the oldest players on the Rift right now. His mechanics looking pretty good. Setting up a lot of CC chains, a lot of plays for the team. I don't know. Sentinels here, 2,000 gold lead early on. This is not a common occurrence for them. They had you know, some good setup though. huhi hunting here, saw Cryogen. Cryogen blast cones over, but very good chain. Bard ultimate into Cosmic Bindings very easy, and that bought enough time for Rahel to get there for the trap. And Rahel is expecting this bubble 100%, especially if you're expecting it. Very easy to flash forward on the bubbles. So it's a double for the Caitlyn. Hex optics already done. Ooh, it's gonna get painful for FlyQuest.
Massu looking a little frustrated there as he goes down again. HamBak preying on that bot side. 2 visits, 2 kills onto the Corki. And Cryogen starting to feel that as well.
I think I'm with Rob Moore. The favorite Sentinels games are usually with HamBak on Skarner.
He's looking good. Can't say he's not. He has been really playing it well across all 3 of the Skarner games. He's looking very comfortable on it. And they are going to go in, but I mean, you're not going to get a kill here onto HamBak. He has Rahel behind him, so we'll get the prio around this scuttle at the very least.
Question is, who can even answer the Ryze bottom right now? I mean, Ornn has teleport. They're doing kind of a hover with Hwei on top. So they are ending up with a teleport coming from Ornn. Ryze already has a team here, though.
Yeah, and that tower is getting kind of low. He's going to be able to clear out the wave, and we'll be able to hold on to it for another wave or two. But Gryffinn and Cryogen moving down here. HamBak and huhi in the area. Could be a potential 3v3, but I don't think FlyQuest wants that. You'd be very low on damage with 3-3.
Honestly, good play from Impact up there. He didn't play overly aggressive on the Rumble. That was the cost for FlyQuest was very apparent. We didn't get to see anything happen for them on top side. The reason they were paying that cost, though, is to try and make a play on Impact. They have both solo laners up there. Quad walks up. He's like, okay, if Rumble steps too far or anything, maybe we can make a play top side. Then you teleport down bottom and catch up with the Ryze wave. But, conservative play from Impact during a correct timing there, and ends up with an extra turret plate for the Ryze for DARKWINGS on the bottom half of the map, and teleport used.
Yep, good to be able to stay safe. Gryffinn the one starting up this Herald for now. Massu trying to get this wave moving in the right direction, but they just do not have prio to start this up. His bot lane is pushed in, the Realm Warp's coming through, Ishtal's impact into the wall. The Impale gonna get flashed away from. DARKWINGS taking quite a bit of damage here from Massu and Cryogen. They're gonna try to re-engage with the Grand Starfall, but it's right in onto a trap. Gryffinn is still going, but he's so low on health, buying a little bit of time as the double knockup comes through from Gakgos. The Spiraling Spear is there as well, but Quad is knocked down. It's another 2 kills for Rahel. FlyQuest just don't have the damage to be looking for a fight like this. It seemed like a big overforce.
Yeah. Oh, that's a rough one. So Pantheon has to flash out, and it's a good flash, to get out of the Skarner combination. Because if you let the E go into ultimate, then you're gonna get locked into death. But then Pantheon ulting back in, your spear goes in the ground. Caitlyn knows exactly where to put the trap. So if you ult ever close to a Caitlyn who's not like under threat or something and won't be able to cast a trap, then it's pretty easy for the Caitlyn to put a trap right where you're gonna land. huhi here starts it off, another good Bard ultimate into the Skarner chain. It's just barely a little window there. Gryffinn can flash out, and you look at the chase down. Trap gets there just in time. Headshot goes through and tries to go in, but even with the Ornn ult hitting there, they already burned him down, had the damage, and Impact just roasting them on the front lines here, trying to move them back. So very good kind of response from Sentinels.
Yeah, really well done by Sentinels. Just seemed like a big overforce from FlyQuest, though, to me. I mean, that fight was not even close to working. Impact just kind of dropped the equalizer between the 3 members of the backline. They never even got close. And Gryffinn, yeah, he had to flash the Impale, but he didn't have to be there. You saw that you had lost prio mid. You saw that they're walking over from there. He could have walked up towards quad and out towards top lane and saved his flash. And now, you commit to that fight when you're already down. You lose the fight anyway, so now you're down about 4K. They're going to lose the Dragon, and now it is sole point here for Sentinels, who's taking full control of this game. I'm going to look for a potential play here on a DARKWINGS. Nice. The Realm Warp will be able to get out. I don't think they had the stun back up anyway to be able to interrupt it, but well played there by huhi to keep his mid laner safe.
We're going to have a very early Infinity Edge for Rahel on Caitlyn as well, and it is done now. So 17.5 minutes Infinity Edge for Rahel's Caitlyn, and the map is kind of crumpling on bottom side. It is going to be traded with some top side pushing. Quad will eventually be able to answer and get this top tower as well, I assume. Actually, they can't even finish off the remnants of it, so recall timers go out. And we'll see, because the map is getting pretty dangerous now for FlyQuest, especially if you are a Hwei. This is very good, control mage champion, good range, nice AoE for team fights, but split pushing is quite dangerous for him.
Yeah, it really is, and I mean, there's a lot of tools to attack you on that side lane. With the Skarner, with the Bard, can get up there and really make things difficult. FlyQuest trying to maintain some control in this bot side here, but it is Rahel pushing up mid, and it is Quad going to get interrupted under his tower. I don't think they can look for a dive in this spot, but they do kill off another tower with the Caitlyn. They take down mid lane, and now Gakgos not going to be able to trade back. He's just going to have to back off as the gold lead continues to extend here. FlyQuest are going to have to try to find some plays of their own if they want to turn this around.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be off of Ornn ulti at this point. You can definitely make some really good picks with that. You know, that is a way to put pressure on like a Caitlyn or something if you're going to go for a Pantheon ult play. So they really have to have one of those big abilities plus the Pantheon ultimate and just, you know, try and go for a pick on somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be Rahel, but that would be the biggest bounty to collect.
Yeah.
If you could possibly make it work.
It absolutely would. And I mean, if they could get one dragon, delay the game, I think they have a real chance. Because then the ornaments, you know, are all coming through and everything. Obviously, Ornn has his own. The first ornaments are going to be coming in pretty soon. But Sentinels moving up towards topside, looking to attack this pretty vulnerable Hwei, who is up here. They clear out his vision. Cryogen playing behind him, knows that he could be vulnerable, so wants to be there to keep him safe. Massu going to be able to Valk away. That was pretty close to getting caught by the Tempered Fate, but quick reactions from him will keep him safe for now.
Okay, just should buy Ornn a little bit of time here to get another wave on bottom side too. Gonna have a rotation over to try and get some vision down around Baron. Looks like slowly move in. Cryogen and Massu are pretty safe to do so. So yeah, just keep your defensive vision alive here. Keep on farming, keep the income steady. If they, as you say, can deny the Dragon Soul and also keep the gold lead from getting bigger, then those are your two big first things necessary for hope to stay alive.
And Gakgos going to be in some trouble here. They are trying to move down and help him out, but huhi here pretty early. Call the Forge God is going to come out as well as the Grand Starfall. They're going to be looking for impact, but DARKWINGS is here, Rahel is here, HamBak is here, and FlyQuest are slower on the fight. Gakgos trying to run the eStall's impact, going to connect in onto Quad, and Quad in so much trouble. The Spiraling Despair comes through. They do get one kill on the side. Massu able to sidestep the Impale. Rahel stepping forward, though, looking to take the fight. DARKWINGS in the middle of the team, knocking them down. Sentinels running over FlyQuest. They get destroyed in the bot lane.
GG right there. Rahel comes in, crit, crit, crit on the back line. And that is going to be an ace for one. The sacrificial impact here, well worth it for Sentinels. They start to play out, you know, him and huhi. He knows the entire team. You can see the mini-map. They're all rotating down. You get Realm Warp coming in. So even when Gryffinn uses the ulti here, Sentinel's still on the attack, looking to punish the arrival. And Rahel, look at his route. He goes over the wall on the outside, gets the Q over the wall into the ult onto Quad to kill off HamBak's target, which was a really good kind of E backwards there, and a bit of a kidnap. And Sentinels can just run it through afterwards. Flash from DARKWINGS. They finish the chase. And you got like Caitlyn flanking around the outside of the lane there. Makes it hard to escape.
Back to live is Gryffinn going to get caught out once again. There's no way he's getting out of this one. Massu and the rest of the team have got to run. They're trying to delay, but the Dragon is up in 9 seconds. Your jungler is dead. The Baron's on the map. Sentinels crushing this one as HamBak finding more and more good engages. That last fight, being able to pick off Quad at the very start, the fight is already done as soon as that happens. And Rahel now already past his 3-item mark. Massu just starting to work on that. He is so far ahead, nearly 4,000 gold, the individual lead down for Rahel.
Yeah, that is a painful sniper. No headshots are going to be taken lightly.
Does Caitlyn have an Ornn upgraded Triforce?
No. Good point. You know what?
Go.
That one goes in the museum, maybe. After the end of this. That's what you're holding on to, though. Yeah. You're like, you know what? We scale, play for late guys. We got to make a pick. You're always hoping for one of these big picks. Yeah. You do, you know, have you know, scale. You got some capabilities here.
You do too.
You got to make up a lot of gold here for items, but you do it by making picks.
The Protobelt Hwei looking for a pick on an impact.
Go.
It's going to work because he Protobelts out, and now they're going to try to go for the Call of Forge God. Can he find the redirect onto Rahel? Easily sidestep Rahel with that Cloud Soul move speed. Just able to easily get out of there. That would have been huge if they could have caught the Caitlyn as well. They might have been able to look for a Baron start. But Gryffinn now in his own jungle has been spotted by Sentinels. Rahel pushing up mid lane onto that tier 2. And Gryffinn just going to have to give up yet another buff here as HamBak continues to build that lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens usually when you're that far behind in the late game and you're trying to make comeback plays. commit a lot to one side so you can get your pick. But because of the extra, gold lead that's been built up and the pushing on the map, you're allowed to get so much more for Sentinels still. So our two things that we were saying for FlyQuest hope to remain alive, one of them was deny the Dragon Soul. That one didn't go so well. The other one was keep the gold lead low at like 4K diff. That one also
not going so well.
No check mark.
Third ornament.
There you go. Those are going well.
That is going well.
Another ornament.
It's a 3-0 ornament lead for FlyQuest.
It's so frustrating too, Cloud Soul. When you're playing against Ryze and you're already like, what do we do about this split pusher? Well,
now he runs fast.
He's super fast. The entire team is super fast. Even the Skarner that's cruising through walls at you and kidnapping your carries is...
And then he impales you and he hits the NOS and drives away.
True.
Takes you back to the base.
True. That's actually the funnest part.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, no.
But we'll see.
Okay, well.
Now you're praying for Elder. Let's be real, as they're going to look for an engage here. Impact taking a lot of damage. He's going to get bubbled up. Nicely timed Tempered Fate. Immunes the pop there from the Spiraling Spare. Gryffinn trying to attack on the side. Massu getting involved here. But it just doesn't really hurt HamBak, and HamBak is not scared of this Corki whatsoever. FlyQuest looked like a decent start, but at the end of the day, they can't really find anything and do lose the tower.
Yeah, they keep going after Ornn, Rumble, after this, after Impact here, and honestly, rightly so, but good defense from huhi there, kept him alive. Now Gakgos.
Call of the Forge God going to be coming out. They are looking for the stun here, interrupting the Call of the Forge God, redirecting. Gakgos flashed over the wall, but he's got no way out from this spot. It's a pretty easy pickup there for Sentinels, and immediate pings back onto the Baron.
Yeah, no way for him to waddle out of mid lane. That's the other really troublesome part about being super far behind in games, is there's a bunch of wards from your opponents that are so deep on the map. When you move out onto the map, they have a lot of teleport locations to just teleport on you and collapse after a play occurs. So Sentinels make good on the trap there, the punishment. And now with Baron, I mean, you really cannot stop Caitlyn this fed with Baron buff Siege. Like, you just can't do it.
It's going to be very, very
He's got Flash and Barrier up too, and a Bard that can defensively ult on
and
good timings.
And your Soul Laners are super strong too. They're both up 2K individually, so even if you somehow magically kill Rahel, you might just be dying to the Rumble as well as the Ryze, because everything would have to be sent onto him. So Sentinels looking like they are very close to being able to close this one out, and would be a big win in a game one here against FlyQuest, who I think a lot of people were favoring, though this obviously is one that could go either way.
Yeah, definitely so. Yeah, Sentinels looking pretty controlled here. Ooh, good immune there.
Yeah, nice Bellows Breath, immunes the Tempered Fate. Cryogen not so lucky. Stunned, suppressed, knocked into the wall. It is fish for dinner. Cryogen's dead in a hurry as they're just trying to play for some sort of vision. You know your only chance, and it's kind of a snowball's chance in hell at this point, is stealing the Elder, right? So you're trying to get some vision in that area, but Sentinels are clearing everything out, and they do not want a 50-50 to decide a game like this. They are just looking to barrel down the mid lane and see if they can close it out with another pick.
Ooh, I think they're going to be successful in that endeavor. Mid tower already down. Bot side, DARKWINGS has the minion wave here, ready to evaporate this tower as well. And Impact, even looking for a little bit of an angle here. Can they get even more? Caitlyn trap starting to go down. I mean, the closest timer is Elder, so that's what they're thinking is nobody make any, like the only possible way Sentinels like kind of lose this game, somebody blunders at the Nexus right now, and then FlyQuest.
That headshot was 60% of his HP. Ouch.
Yeah, that's an ouch.
That was literally one auto. Okay.
One bullet is all it takes.
Yeah, I guess rapid fire headshot, legit all it takes. As Massu sent back to base. When do you think that IE is coming in for Corki? Next game?
Next game, yeah.
Next game, yeah.
That sounds about right. He's got a dagger right now, so.
That's not too close to an IE.
Yeah, so now all
No,
we
it's
gotta
not.
do, guys, all we gotta do is just play connected, okay? The
True,
only way
just
we're
gotta
gonna
play
lose
together.
is getting picked.
Yep, just keep getting picks, play connected.
I've been loving our huhi shot call listen-ins. We had a really good one in the FlyQuest series. That's another bullet into Massu's head. Wait a second.
Someone might want to block that.
Nah.
He's not the president anymore. Too many deaths.
They're like, you know what?
He's been downgraded.
Nobody really wants to take that.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Massu gonna pop the barrier as impacting a ton of damage. Cryogen might just burn down. He does. Darkwings on the side, dueling against Gryffinn. He's winning that. And the Elder is being killed at the same time. Sentinels loses no one as it's just a couple members looking for the fight. Now the Run Warp comes through. The three-man knockup. Massu is just shot out of the air. Rahel has been unstoppable start to finish as Sentinels dominate the first game here against FlyQuest. HamBak and huhi want to chase squad. They want another kill to pad the stats, but it's Impact, it's Rahel, and it's eyes on closing out this first game. Quad is going to die as well. DARKWINGS can't get there to steal the kill, but the Nexus will fall as it is 19-4 in just under 30 minutes. Sentinels going to be able to close it out and take game one.
Beautiful game from Sentinels. Controlled, methodical, big plays from huhi, HamBak, and honestly, all of them quite good. It's I guess the hardest part about this game is going to be the discussion over who gets player of the game.
I think HamBak, he started the snowball. What do you think, Lounge?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I was going huhi. I feel like the support.
I think we have like it's between those two.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it up in the air.